Hi, listen, guys, be realistic, right? Understand yourself. You're not old. You are as young as you think you are. Well, nobody can help you if you're young and you want to think that you're old and you're going to the grave. What sort of thinking is that? You have been given a beautiful life. Live your life, okay? Now, there are some people, I just hate those people. And particularly some women in some part of the world. I know it. As soon as they get married, they have a child, they have two children, and that's the end of story for them. Well, I'm halfway down the grave now. For God's sake, please don't be so pessimistic. Be optimistic. That's life. You have got a journey in front of you which is beautiful. Flowers everywhere. Smile at everybody. Get on with it. Now, as far as your age is concerned, it's you who determine what is your age and how you want to live a life. Nobody can help you. Now, the other thing is about illnesses. See, the way a human body is made, it has got its ability to heal itself, to reconstruct itself, to repair all the damages, and that's why it has been made in such a way that the body rests at a particular time, and then that gives a chance for all your internal organs, all your chemicals inside to surge up and do the repair, get everything ready for you, and the following day you are back to normal. Everything is done. Do you know that your body loses cells day in and day out? Your body at one given time is only 6 months old. Don't think that if you're 40 years old, you're 40 years old. No. The last 6 months, what your body was, it is today, it's not. So you have got 100 trillion cells, and all these cells, or even more, 120 trillion cells, all these cells, they are getting changed. Just getting the body is getting newer and newer. So, in other words, you're only 6 months old at any given time. Right. Now comes the disease element. Right. All your illnesses, disease, and things. Nature is a big, big, big cure for all your ailments or most of your ailments. Right. Okay. So, therefore, trust the nature, trust your own self, trust your body that it's going to heal and make you better. Illnesses, it is there. And why do you get illnesses? Because of certain factors. The main thing is what's in your mind. This is what controls all your systems. So therefore, if your mind thinks that you're going to be ill, obviously you're going to be ill. If your mind thinks that you're euphoric, you're enjoying going around, meeting people, smiling, laughing, you're fantastic. You're having a brilliant life. I mean, take for instance, just give an example. For example, diabetes, right? It's a very common illness. A lot of people have that. Yes. Okay. Diabetes. What's diabetes? It's a sugar problem, isn't it? Yes. Fine. Agreed. So what happens if it's a sugar problem? Some people say it's a progressive, chronic disease and there is no cure for it. But if you read at some of these latest research, the papers, and people who have been publishing articles about it, it is a reversible disease. In other words, even if you have developed diabetes, or you are in a pre diabetic stage, or you have come into a situation where your diabetes has gone to an extreme condition, still there is a cure for it. You can come back, you can reverse it. Okay, fine. It has gone to a stage where you are using a lot of insulin. You know, the injection which you take for diabetes to bring your sugar levels down. Even if you are on a very high doses of insulin, There is a remedy for that. You might have heard about bariatric surgery, where they try to reduce the size of your stomach so that you can eat less, so the calories your intake is less, and things like that. So there is a cure even at that stage. But if you're going to think about it at very early stages, you're pre-diabetic, or, or your sugar levels are high, you check once in a way. So it is not a progressive chronic condition. It can be reversed. Three main things if you want to reverse your diabetes, really. Number one is all in your mind. If you're going to get stressed, if you're going to get hung up of things which is not really of great importance, of even if it's of importance, so what? Okay, fine. You have earned money, you have lost money. You're going to cry about it? Okay, cry. Destroy yourself, your mind, get stressed, produce all the bad chemicals in your system, let it go around in your system, in your blood, and damage all the organs. Fine. If that's what you want to choose, choose. But there is another side to it. The other side is, yes, it's a life. You got the money, you lost it. You had a relative, you lost it. You had a very loved and a dear one, you lost it. That's it. End of story there. Then there's the next step is you move forward, right? Now, when you move forward, your mind gets cleared, you're not stressed. Remember, the moment you put your mind into stress, it's like putting it into the vice. Now, at that stage, your mind doesn't like it. It's going to produce wrong chemicals in your system, and those wrong chemicals are going to be destructive to you. So, therefore, always remember, the more joyful you are, the more happy you are, the more you smile. As they say, if you smile every day, it makes you feel good. And if you have somebody to comfort you and you have the touch, the sense of touch, that's good. I mean, for example, you want to play with the children, you want to play with a baby, you want to cuddle a baby or a child or your partner or whoever makes you feel good. And you are having a compassionate nature. You get up in the morning and say, well, today I'm going to help somebody. Fine, good, fantastic. So being compassionate and having that enthusiasm in you every day, you wake up, I'm going to be. The moment you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is, ah, thankful. Be thankful. Look in the mirror and smile. Oh, I'm alive today. Another day. Bonus. Good. Well done, man. Well done. Well done, woman. Well done. Right. Another day. Smile. All that is the mind. If you can let your mind come into the normal stride of happiness, smile, just refuse to be miserable. Miserable is a word you should remove from your system. It should not be there. It should not be a thought at all. Come what may. There is no alternative to not being miserable. There is an alternative which you can be very happy. Right. So that's the basic thing in which what you need to dwell on, what you need to live on. Now the second thing is the diet. Now this is where I get a little bit upset what I see. There is nothing more better or nothing more tasty, nothing more good for your body than getting something raw, plants, fruits, vegetables from the shop and cooking at home cooked food. That is the best. Well, you want to go and eat fast food, junk food, you get all the trans fats in it, bad cooking oils, and then they're all saturated fats. It's no good for your system. You should know that. But if you want to do it, and don't blame it. If you're at the age of 40, you get a heart attack, yes, enjoy your heart attack. But then you had the alternative of not getting a heart attack. Yes, you have already dealt with the stress. You're a happy guy every day, so your coronaries are very happy. They're not going to go into a spasm. Nothing is going to happen as far as the diet is concerned. Right, listen, there are two good, there are two fats, basic, very basic. One good fat, one bad fat. Right? Now, the good fat is called in medical terminology HDL, right? If you don't remember, it's a high density lipoprotein. But the good fat is the what you need because it has got a very specific work inside your coronary arteries. The bad fat is the LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein. Now, this is a nasty one. This is the one which goes and sort of plastered itself along the walls of all the arteries and things like that. And then it sort of forms a thick plaque like thing around the arteries. And then they get attached, and the vessel gets narrower and narrow. And when you go to a cardiologist and see an angiogram, you can see that the lumen of the artery is so narrow. That's because of this LDL. But the good cholesterol, which is the HDL, it goes around there, washes off all that bad cholesterol and takes it away to the liver and gets itself all cleared out. So now you should be concentrating on the good fat, which is the HDL fat. Now, basic HDL fat means the stuff which you take is macroscopic fat, the fat which you can actually see. For example, if you're a non vegetarian, you go and buy some meat, you can actually see some fat attached to that. So that is the gravest of the fat. That is what you need to strip it off. If at all you are non-vegetarian and you want to cook meat. Yes, a red meat is not only source of protein, it's not the only source of iron, it's not the only source of good stuff. There are lots of vegetables, there are lots of fruits which can give you the equal amount. But if you want to eat non vegetarian, so be it. But then you must understand what non vegetarian does to your system, and therefore you have to cut down on that as much as possible. Plant, fruit, plant food, fruits, plant fruit is good for your system. You can work on that, right? Um, the other thing is I can't stress on this one. Exercise. Exercise is a very vital thing. Now, you don't need to believe me. You don't need to read anything, all right? Just sit back and think. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, what did man do? He got up in the morning with the sunrise, okay, from the cave, came out of the cave, took a spear, went round, hunted animals, brought the animal, okay, put a fire up, cooked the animal on the fire, the whole family sat around, ate, right? One meal that was just one meal a day. They all lived on one meal a day, plus the berries, the fruits, the veg, whatever they find, the plant thing was just an added thing for them. There was nothing. There was only one meal a day. The man goes out, hunts, and brings a boar or whatever, an animal, and they cook it. The wife doesn't say, "Darling, it's now evening time now. Can you go and get another deer, another animal just for the second meal?" No. And the meal and everything is finished before the sun sets because the body has got to have time as a fasting. A fasting period starts. Once the sun sets down, there's no food eaten after that until the next day morning. That is called in the morning breaking the fast. Right? It should not be a breaking the fast. You are actually, um, going to eat something at a time when it is supposed to be the time to eat. So we have all lived with our ancestors have lived with one meal a day. They walked and walked and walked. They did a lot of physical activity, and hence, by evolution, the pancreas which a human body has got is geared up to one meal a day, producing only so much insulin at so much time, a sleep pattern, a eating time related to the sun. In the morning, you get up, you walk for distance, hunt, bring the animal, then walk, get berries, get fruits, get things, and then you sleep. As soon as the sun sets down, you sleep. So this is what it was. But what we do now is 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day, snacks in between, various other things, and all that junk food, processed food. Processed food has got certain bad things in it. Trans fat, it is called, and also in the in the junk food, it's nothing but all bad stuff. An eminent cardiologist once said, "What goes through your mouth matters what your arteries are going to look like. If it is tasty what you eat, it may not be tasty for your coronary arteries. But it doesn't mean you must also be swallowing bitter pills." Now, on the matter of pills and drugs, please understand these are all chemicals, synthetic things, and they are not natural. They are made in labs to give you, to kill you in an instant. People who take pills are destined to die earlier than people who adopt themselves in a natural way of living. Pill is when you swallow a tablet, when you swallow a pill, do you know what happens? The moment it goes in, your system says, "Ah, what is this? This is a foreign body. I don't like it." And it goes, pushes it straight to the liver. Liver is a factory. It's meant to be there to take all the toxins, all the poisons, and everything, and it's just there. So it goes there. So what happens to a factory or thing which keeps on getting the junk, the chemicals, the bad things in it? It's going to destroy itself. Fortunately, liver is an organ which regenerates. So the moment you're sleeping, there is a sort of regeneration going on in the liver. But how long can that liver do with that? You're pushing yourself with all the bad chemicals, bad things, bad food, and all this. So therefore, please sit back and think. Three things: mind, stress; two, food; three, physical activities. Apart from these three things, there is nothing else which is going to save you. Those days, people lived long lives. Why? Because they had that luxury of not having anything to travel upon. There was no cycle, there was no cars, no buses, right? They had to walk. And people in the forest, in jungles, in remote places, they walked miles and miles and miles. And they ate one meal a day, stress free life, absolutely nothing to worry about anything, and they lived long life and happy life. Now, the turning point in history was when the world started to see the money. When money came in, economics started, then things changed. That's why people who used to live 100 years, 140 years, 180 years, you must have read in all sorts of various books. There are hundreds and hundreds of religious books, gospels, various other dictums, various other things which you could have, people lived a long life. Why? That was the pre money period. The moment money came in, the human life was destroyed. And everything what you see today, the culprit is the money. There's nothing else. So therefore, guys, of course, we can't turn the clock back. We can't go back and sit in the cave and start to meditate. No. But at least we have got that sense to understand things. See, the understanding power is the most important thing, the gift for mankind. So all you need to do is understand, introspect yourself, think of yourself, know thyself, as Socrates said. You need to know yourself, what you're doing. There is a thing called as, if you read any of these management books or anything, a Povey's book or other books, it's all reflection in action. While you're doing something, you are reflecting upon what you're doing. See, there are lots and lots of books written on this, or the organizational matters and management matters and all these things. These, there was a gentleman called Sean, Schon. Now, he wrote beautiful things about reflection in practice. Povey's books are very famous for this. So, these are all it says to you is reflect upon what you're doing. Think in the back of your mind when you're doing. So what? Then what? Ask these two questions. Very simple. Whatever you're doing, so what? Then what? you get the answers. So please, it's this, you have been given a beautiful life. You have to live a nice life. Okay? You can always sort of sit back and think. You can talk to your friends. You can think. Remember, your mind is what controls you, whether it makes you happy or you makes it miserable. It's in you. You can't say, well, I don't know. I'm stressed. I'm distressed. Somebody said, come on, pull your socks up. Go, for God's sake. No, you can do it yourself. Nobody needs to tell you. But you see, there's a fine line between being sane and between being insane, right? If you touch that line and cross that line, sometimes it's temporary. You can go be a bit insane and come back again and be sane. But if you have gone too far, you might not be able to come back. So what the doctors do? The doctors don't get any, you know, messages from heaven to treat you. The doctors only can do what they read in the books. They have been given books, they read the books, and now they get educated as to what to do. But then, what do they do? They give you pills. Why do they give you pills? Because somebody else has told them to give pills. Okay, there are lots and lots of things, starting from cholesterol treating tablets, starting from mental illnesses and things like that. All these are controlled by the pharmaceutical industries, and the pharmaceutical industries spend a lot of money in trying to get very highly qualified people to do a research, to do some work, and try to produce results which must go in the favor of that industry's products. Otherwise, what's the point? Why would a pharmaceutical industry spend £1 million and give it to some professors or a unit or somebody, get the results and saying, well, what you have made is rubbish. This is no good for human mankind. It's rubbish. We can't give this. This is chemical. This is poison to the liver. No. They have got to find a way and means of trying to develop something which will hype up the crowd, which hype up the people, and people will go and buy it, and they can make a profit. I mean, there are lots of studies. There are lots of studies which says, well, okay, for example, you take the statin or you take the cholesterol tablets. They've done lots of studies, but the people who go and do these studies have got to go to a particular country, pick a particular target population, and even though if they do all over an international sort of study combining several countries together, when they find the results which are not favorable to the company who is sponsoring them, they start editing the results. They say, well, I've taken 15, 20 countries, but these 5 countries are messing up my figures, so let's take them off. Those 5 countries are out. Just take the statistics of these 10 countries. So when you produce a paper, you say, well, I visited 10 countries, and we take the data from the 10 countries. There are so many 100,000 people, and this is the result. Okay, fine. This is the result. Agreed. We all fall for it. Then we go for it and they swallow the pills. But of that research, when it all started, there were 18 or 20 countries. Why did you take the other 5 or 8 countries out? Because it messes up the data. You understand? And also, the statistics and things like that is all rubbish. Because the way the statistics work, an average is found is an example. For example, you mix, say, different colors of marbles, right? Red marbles, green marbles, blue marbles, all color marbles. Put it in a little pot, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, and then you put your hand in and take one marble. It's a blue marble. That's an average. That's a significant average of your study. So what it means is, if it's blue, it's right because it's average. Do you understand? That's how some of these statistics work. So, well, I mean, I'm trying to simplify the whole thing into a very simple layman's language because people who are listening may not have any medical knowledge or even an academic qualification or been through a lot of research, paperwork, and things like that. So just basic information. Anyway, so the long and short of it is this has got to finish. The thinking has got to change in you, in yourself, and with people around you. My name is Dr. Muzafer. I've been a doctor for over 40 years now, and I have sort of seen certain things which make me feel that if I were to go and educate somebody, I have got a few things to tell. I have put in a few things in this video this time. Maybe another time I would make another video of a different subject or a different aspect of life. But for the time being, don't get stressed, please, and eat well and live well. Be happy. There is a saying which says, earn as much as you want in the right way, eat and live happily, and enjoy life with your family. Well, if you don't have a family, you can still enjoy yourself with your friends, with your known people, loved ones, and everybody. Okay? See you again sometime. And this is my first video I've ever made. Hope this has got some information which you would like. And I have given you very practical type of information and also my own views about things. And therefore, it's up to you how you feel about it. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Bye bye.